I stared at the ultrasound photo, tracing the tiny blob that would become my baby. After 3 years of fertility treatments, countless tears, and enough hormone injections to make a pharmacist wince, there it was, proof that miracles exist. My name is Sarah, and I never thought this moment would come. Working as a pediatric nurse, I'd helped countless mothers welcome their babies into the world. Now finally, it was my turn. "Everything looks perfect," Dr. Fisher said, her warm smile matching mine. 12 weeks along, strong heartbeat. Would you like a few extra copies of the ultrasound? "Just one is fine," I replied, carefully tucking it into my purse. "I want to keep this private for now, at least until the first trimester is over." That photo became my secret treasure. I'd take it out during lunch breaks, studying every grainy detail. At home, I placed it in my grandmother's antique jewelry box, nestled between old letters and dried flowers. 3 days later, my phone exploded with notifications. "Oh my God, congratulations! You're going to be such a great mom. When are you due?" Confused, I opened Instagram. My sister Alexandra's latest post stopped my heart. "Surprise! Baby on the way! Can't wait to meet our little miracle." 12 weeks. Blessed, future mama. The photo, my ultrasound. She'd cropped out my name, but missed Dr. Fisher's watermark in the corner. My hands shook as I called her. She answered on the 4th ring, her voice syrupy sweet. "Sarah, did you see my announcement? Isn't it exciting?" "That's my ultrasound photo, Alex, the one from my jewelry box." Silence. Then a laugh. "Don't be ridiculous. Why would I take your photo? I had my own appointment last week." "With which doctor?" "I don't have to justify myself to you." Her tone turned sharp. "Just because you can't have a baby doesn't mean you get to rain on my parade." The line went dead. My mother called next. "Sarah, stop being dramatic. Your sister is giving me a grandchild. Can't you just be happy for once?" "Mom, she stole my—" "Enough! I'm tired of your jealousy. Alexandra has always been the responsible one, the successful one. Now she's blessing this family, and you're trying to steal her moment?" I hung up, numb. Through the fog of betrayal, I opened Alexandra's post again. Comments flooded in, including one from our mother. "My beautiful daughter, finally making me a grandmother. You'll be the most amazing mother." The same mother who told me last month that maybe my infertility was nature's way of knowing best. My phone buzzed, a text from my best friend Yvette. "Girl, what the actual fuck? Isn't that your ultrasound?" "Yes," I typed back. She took it from my jewelry box when she visited last weekend. "Want me to expose her lying ass right now?" I paused, something cold and calculated settling in my chest. "No, not yet." "What are you thinking? They want a pregnancy announcement? Let's give them a show they'll never forget." I called Dr. Fisher's office, my voice steady. "Hi, I need to report a stolen medical document being used fraudulently on social media, and I might need your help with something else." "Of course," the receptionist said. "Dr. Fisher has an opening in 30 minutes. She'll want to hear about this directly." I grabbed my keys, a plan already forming. Alexandra always loved being the center of attention. She'd probably want a gender reveal party, something big and dramatic. Perfect. My phone kept buzzing with congratulatory messages. To her, not me. Each one felt like a knife, but I forced myself to stay calm. Let them believe, let them celebrate, because when the truth came out, it wouldn't be in a quiet conversation or an angry text. It would be spectacular, public, devastating. I touched my stomach, still flat, but holding my actual miracle. "Don't worry, little one," I whispered. "Mommy's going to teach you an important lesson about karma." The drive to Dr. Fisher's office was surprisingly peaceful. For the first time in years, I felt completely clear about what needed to be done. Alexandra had stolen my moment, my joy, my proof of hope, but she'd forgotten one thing. I'm a planner, always have been. And while she was busy playing pretend with my life, I'd be methodically, carefully, lovingly planning her downfall. Let the show begin. So when did you first know you were pregnant? I asked Alexandra casually over brunch, watching her stir her mimosa. My sister had insisted on this sister bonding time after Mom guilt-tripped me into making an appearance. Oh, she waved her hand vaguely. Just mother's intuition, I guess. I felt different. I nodded, taking a sip of water. Different how? The usual stuff, morning sickness, fatigue. She trailed off, then brightened as the waiter approached. Oh, I'll have the eggs Benedict. The baby's craving it. I bit back a smile. She'd been pregnant for supposedly 12 weeks, but hadn't shown a single sign of morning sickness. I'd been discreetly throwing up in the staff bathroom at work for 2 months. My phone buzzed. A text from Yvette. Check her latest IG story. The dates don't add up. I excused myself to the bathroom and pulled up Alexandra's profile. Sure enough, she'd posted a pregnancy journey update claiming she was 14 weeks along. Just 3 days ago, she'd been at 12 weeks. When I returned, Alexandra was on the phone with Kyle, her voice honey-sweet. Yes, babe, everything's fine. The doctor said the baby's perfect. No, you didn't miss an appointment. I just had a quick checkup. Kyle's confused voice carried through the speaker. But I thought we were going together next week for the first ultrasound. Alexandra's face flushed. She quickly ended the call. Everything okay? I asked innocently. Fine. Kyle's just confused about dates. Men, right? She laughed nervously. Right. Speaking of dates, when's your due date again? January 15th, she said quickly. I pulled out my phone. That's weird, because last week you told Mom it was January 23rd. I remember because it's Aunt Jordan's birthday. Alexandra's smile tightened. Did I? Must have been a slip of the tongue. Pregnancy brain. Must be. How's the morning sickness now? Horrible, she groaned. It just started last week. The doctor said it's normal for it to kick in during the second trimester. I raised an eyebrow. Really? Most women experience it in the first trimester. Usually starts around 6 weeks. Well, everyone's different, she snapped. What would you know about it anyway? The waiter saved her from further questioning, arriving with our food. Alexandra immediately started taking photos of her plate. For the pregnancy food diary, she explained, posting it with the caption, Baby's first eggs Benedict. 14 weeks. Pregnancy cravings. My phone buzzed again. Yvette had sent screenshots of Alexandra's deleted posts, the ones where she'd changed her story about the due date. Got these before she could edit them. Keep them for later? Perfect, I texted back. Sarah? Alexandra's voice pulled me back. You'll help with the gender reveal party, right? Mom's already talking to Julian about planning it. It's going to be huge. Of course, I smiled. Wouldn't miss it for the world. When are you finding out the gender? Next week's appointment, she beamed. Kyle's so excited. The same appointment he thought was your first ultrasound? Her face darkened. Why are you being like this? Can't you just be happy for me? I am happy, I said softly. I just want to make sure everything's properly documented for the baby book. Alexandra's phone chimed, our mother calling. She answered immediately, her voice brightening. Mom! Yes, Sarah's being nice. No, she hasn't ruined brunch. Yes, I'm eating for 2. I watched her perform for our mother, noting how she kept touching her completely flat stomach, how she stumbled over details about her supposed pregnancy symptoms. Each lie was another piece of evidence, carefully filed away. Mom wants to know if you're coming to dinner tonight, Alexandra said after hanging up. She's announcing the pregnancy to the extended family. Wouldn't want to steal your spotlight, I replied. Don't be bitter, Sarah. It's not attractive. She stood up, gathering her things. Just because some of us are blessed with fertility doesn't mean you have to be difficult. I watched her leave, then pulled out my phone to text Dr. Fisher. Alexandra claims she has an appointment next week for gender determination. Just confirming, she hasn't actually made any appointments with your office, correct? The response came quickly. Correct. No appointments, no records. Do you want me to document this conversation? Yes, please. And one more thing. Could you check if there are any other OB/GYNs in town with appointments booked under her name? Already did. Nothing within 50 miles. Perfect. The pieces were falling into place, one lie at a time. Alexandra wanted a gender reveal party? I'd make sure it revealed far more than she bargained for. The family dinner felt like a performance, with Alexandra center stage and me relegated to the cheap seats. Mom had outdone herself. Crystal glasses, fine china, and a mom-to-be sash draped across my sister's chair. Alexandra, darling, tell everyone about the morning sickness, Mom prompted, beaming at the gathered relatives. Oh, it's been awful, Alexandra sighed dramatically. Started about 3 weeks ago, right at the beginning of my second trimester. I pressed record on my phone under the table as she continued. Although last month was worse, especially during that business trip to Miami. Aunt Jordan frowned. Wasn't that trip 6 weeks ago? I thought you said the sickness just started 3 weeks ago? Alexandra's smile flickered. Did I? No, I meant the fatigue was worse in Miami. The nausea came later. I took a sip of water, hiding my smile. Aunt Jordan had always been the observant one. Kyle? Mom turned to Alexandra's boyfriend, who looked increasingly uncomfortable. How are you feeling about becoming a father? It's surprising, he managed, glancing at Alexandra. Everything's happening so fast. That's because you're already at 14 weeks, Mom gushed. Time flies. 16, Alexandra corrected quickly. I'm 16 weeks now. I couldn't help myself. 16? But your Instagram post this morning said 14, and last week you told Kyle's parents you were 13 weeks. The table went silent. Alexandra's face flushed. Pregnancy brain, she laughed nervously. Sometimes I get confused with the counting. That's why it's so important to keep track of doctor's appointments, I said innocently. Speaking of which, how did the gender appointment go? You said it was scheduled for Tuesday? It was rescheduled, Alexandra muttered. The doctor had an emergency. Which doctor? Aunt Jordan asked. Dr. Smith, Alexandra said after a noticeable pause. First name? Jennifer or Jessica? It's a new practice. I excused myself to the bathroom, using the moment to send the recording to Yvette. When I returned, Alexandra was digging through her purse, probably looking for a distraction from the questioning. That's when I saw it, my ultrasound photo, tucked into her wallet. She tried to crop out my name, but Dr. Fisher's watermark was still visible in the corner. Looking for something? I asked. She jumped, snapping her wallet shut. Just checking my phone. Later, as everyone moved to the living room for coffee, Aunt Jordan pulled me aside. Your eyes tell quite a story tonight, she said quietly. Want to share what's really going on? I hesitated, studying her face. Let's just say, some miracles are more miraculous than others. She squeezed my hand. I've always thought Alexandra's stories were a bit too perfect. And your mother? She sighed. Well, she sees what she wants to see. From the living room, Alexandra's voice carried, Mom, tell everyone about the nursery plans. Oh, yes, Mom's voice dripped with pride. We're converting the guest room, the one Sarah used to stay in when she visited. Not that she needs it anymore, right, dear? I gripped my water glass tighter. Right, Mom. You should take notes, Sarah, Mom continued. Your sister's doing everything perfectly. Proper prenatal care, regular checkups, following all the doctor's orders. Maybe if you'd been this responsible. That's enough, Vanessa, Aunt Jordan cut in sharply. Sarah doesn't need your criticism. I'm just saying. We know what you're saying, Aunt Jordan interrupted. You've been saying it for years. An uncomfortable silence fell over the room. Alexandra seized the moment to pull out her phone. Look what came today, she squealed. showing everyone a delivery notification. My pregnancy pillow. Kyle, honey, can you grab it from the car? Kyle looked confused. What pregnancy pillow? The one that was delivered today, remember? But I was home all day, he said. Nothing was delivered. I watched Alexandra's face cycle through panic, anger, and finally forced cheerfulness. Oh, silly me. It must be arriving tomorrow. As the evening wound down, I heard Alexandra in the hallway, arguing with Kyle in hushed tones. Why did you have to mention the delivery thing? Because nothing came today. Alex, what's going on? You keep changing your story about everything? Nothing's going on. Why are you being so difficult? I slipped past them quietly, but not before catching Kyle's troubled expression. Another crack in Alexandra's perfect story. Outside, Aunt Jordan caught up with me at my car. Whatever's happening, she said. I'm here if you need me. Sometimes the truth needs witnesses. I hugged her, fighting back tears. Thank you. You might want to keep your calendar clear for the gender reveal party. Oh? She raised an eyebrow. Should be interesting. More than you know, I smiled. More than you know. You want me to speak at your sister's gender reveal party? Dr. Fisher leaned back in her chair, eyebrows raised. To expose her fake pregnancy? Not just speak, I explained. I want you to be the one to reveal the truth. You're the only one who can prove, medically and legally, that she stole my ultrasound. It's unusual. She tapped her pen against her desk. Though I have to admit, using a stolen ultrasound is a new level of fraud. Will you help? She nodded slowly. Given the circumstances, and since your medical information was stolen, yes. But Sarah, are you sure about this? It will be very public. That's the point. I pulled out my phone, showing her the screenshots Yvette had collected. Look at this fertility forum from 2 months ago. Username BabyDreams28, asking how to fake a pregnancy. The account details match Alexandra's email. Dr. Fisher studied the posts. This is methodical. She really planned this. She's always been good at taking what she wants. I touched my still flat stomach. But not this time. Later that afternoon, I met with Julian, the event planner, at the venue, an upscale garden restaurant with a glass-enclosed patio. Alexandra wants smoke machines, Julian said, consulting his tablet. Pink and blue, obviously. Balloon arch, catering for 50 people, and a custom reveal box. Perfect, I smiled. Could we set up a small podium for speeches? Of course. Your mother mentioned wanting to say a few words. I bet she did. I walked the space, mentally mapping out where everything would happen. Julian, what time are you planning the actual reveal? Sunset. Alexandra was very specific about the lighting for photos. My phone buzzed, Mom calling. I excused myself to answer. Sarah, are you actually helping with the party or just causing problems? I'm with Julian right now, Mom. Everything's under control. It better be. Alexandra's stressed enough without your attitude. If you can't be supportive, don't come. I laughed softly. Don't worry, Mom. I wouldn't miss this for the world. Don't take that tone with me. Just because you couldn't what, Mom? Couldn't have a baby, couldn't make you proud, or couldn't lie about it like Alexandra. Silence crackled over the line. I have to go, I said. Lots of planning to do for my sister's special day. Back inside, Julian was arranging sample centerpieces. Everything okay? Perfect. I touched one of the blue ribbons. By the way, where's the power source for the smoke machines? Over there, behind the podium. Why? Just making sure everything runs smoothly. That evening I met Yvette at a coffee shop to finalize details. Look what I found, she said, sliding her laptop across the table. Alexandra's been shopping for fake pregnancy bellies online. Got the receipts right here. Add it to the file. I sipped my decaf tea. How's the video compilation coming? All her contradicting social media posts, edited together with timestamps. It's devastating. Yvette grinned. You sure you want to go through with this? You should have heard Mom today. Alexandra's stressed, like she's the victim here. I pulled out my own ultrasound, my real one, and looked at it. They need to learn that actions have consequences. Speaking of consequences, Yvette pointed to the door. Kyle had just walked in. He saw us and hesitated before approaching our table. Sarah, can we talk? I gestured to the empty chair. Of course. He sat, looking uncomfortable. Something's not right with Alexandra. The dates keep changing. She won't let me come to appointments. And yesterday I found a fake pregnancy belly website in her browser history. Interesting, I said neutrally. I'm not stupid, he continued, but every time I ask questions she gets defensive or starts crying. Your mom says I'm being unsupportive. Kyle, I leaned forward. Are you coming to the gender reveal party? Yeah, of course. Alexandra says it's going to be amazing. Good. I stood up, gathering my things. Make sure you're standing close to her when the reveal happens. You'll want a front row seat. He frowned. What do you mean? Let's just say the truth has a way of coming out, sometimes with pink and blue smoke. After he left, Yvette shook her head. Poor guy. He really had no idea. Alexandra's good at making people see what they want to see. I checked my calendar, 1 week until the party. But some shows have to end. My phone lit up with a text from Alexandra. Mom says you're being difficult about the party. Don't ruin this for me. I typed back, Don't worry, sis. Everything will be exactly as it should be. And for once, I wasn't lying. The garden venue sparkled with fairy lights as guests filtered in. Alexandra held court near the balloon arch, wearing a flowing maternity dress with strategic padding. She'd even mastered the pregnant woman's waddle, one hand perpetually resting on her non-existent bump. Sarah, she called out, waving me over. Isn't everything perfect? The decorations, the lighting? Beautiful, I agreed, watching Dr. Fisher quietly slip in through the side entrance. Everything's exactly as it should be. Mom appeared, champagne in hand. Alexandra, darling, Kyle's parents are here. Sarah, make yourself useful and check on the catering. Actually, I smiled, I need to help Julian with the reveal setup. Don't mess anything up, Mom hissed, steering Alexandra toward Kyle's parents. I made my way to the podium where Julian was testing the microphone. Sound check okay? Perfect. And the smoke machines are ready. He glanced at his watch. 20 minutes until sunset. That's when Alexandra wants to do it. Has she given you the reveal box yet? No. Julian frowned. She said she's bringing it up with her when it's time. Interesting? I watched Alexandra laughing with guests, noting how she kept adjusting her dress. The fake belly must be uncomfortable. Yvette appeared at my elbow. Everything's set up. Dr. Fisher has the files, and I've got the video ready to project. Good. I touched my own stomach, now showing just enough that I'd had to wear a loose blouse. How many people do you think are here? At least 60. Yvette surveyed the crowd. More than the 50 she planned for. Word got around. Perfect. More witnesses. Aunt Jordan caught my eye from across the room and gave me a subtle nod. She'd positioned herself near the exit, exactly as planned. Sarah, Alexandra's voice cut through the crowd. Where's the reveal box? Mom said you were in charge of it. Me? I blinked innocently. You told Julian you were handling it. Color drained from her face. I must have forgotten. Pregnancy brain. Don't worry, I said smoothly. Dr. Fisher brought one. She's right over there. Alexandra froze. Dr. Fisher? Your OB-GYN? I tilted my head. The one who's been handling your prenatal care? Right, of course. She laughed nervously, eyes darting around the room. I just didn't expect... Alexandra, Mom interrupted. Everyone's waiting. Kyle's already by the podium. I watched Alexandra's internal panic as she plastered on a smile and made her way to the front. Kyle stood waiting, looking increasingly uncertain as he stared at her supposedly pregnant profile. Mom grabbed the microphone. "Welcome, everyone. We're gathered here to celebrate my beautiful daughter Alexandra and the precious life she's carrying." I caught Dr. Fisher's eye and nodded. She moved quietly toward the podium. "Before we do the reveal," Mom continued, "I want to say how proud I am. Alexandra has always been my perfect girl, and now she's giving me my first grandchild." "Excuse me," Dr. Fisher's voice cut through the speech. "I need to address something medical before we continue." Alexandra's face went white. "Mom, maybe we should." "Don't interrupt," Mom snapped. "Doctor, can this wait?" "Actually, it can't." Dr. Fisher stepped up to the podium. "As a medical professional, I have an ethical obligation to address fraudulent use of medical documents." The crowd murmured. Kyle took a step back from Alexandra. "What is she talking about?" someone whispered. "Alexandra," Dr. Fisher continued, "would you like to explain why you're using another patient's ultrasound photo? Or shall I?" The room went silent. Alexandra's hands fluttered to her padded stomach. I don't know what you're talking about. This is ridiculous." "The ultrasound you've been showing everyone," Dr. Fisher said calmly, "belongs to Sarah. It was taken in my office 3 months ago. You have never been a patient in my practice, nor in any other obstetric office within 50 miles. Mom grabbed the microphone. "This is outrageous! Alexandra, tell them." But Alexandra was backing away from the podium, her carefully constructed world crumbling. The padding in her dress shifted visibly. "Kyle," she pleaded, reaching for him. "Baby, don't listen to—" "Is it true?" he asked, voice cracking. "Have you been lying this whole time?" I stepped forward, phone in hand. "Should we show everyone the fake pregnancy belly website from your browser history, or the fertility forum posts asking how to fake a pregnancy?" The crowd's whispers grew louder. Phones came out, recording. "Sarah," Mom warned, "stop this right now." I smiled, feeling surprisingly calm. "No, Mom, I don't think I will." The sun was setting, right on schedule. Soon the smoke machines would activate, but they wouldn't be revealing a baby's gender. They'd be revealing something much more important, the truth. "Play the video," I said to Yvette, and the projector flickered to life against the garden's white wall. Alexandra's own social media posts appeared in chronological order, each one contradicting the last. Different due dates, changing symptoms, inconsistent timelines. The crowd watched in stunned silence as her lies unraveled on screen. "Turn it off!" Alexandra screamed, lunging for the projector. The sudden movement caused her fake belly to shift dramatically to one side. Kyle stared at the obvious padding. Are you wearing a prosthetic?" "I can explain," Alexandra sobbed, but Dr. Fisher was already speaking. "I have here," she held up a file, "the original ultrasound image, complete with Sarah's name and medical information. And here," she produced another document, "is Alexandra's signed confession from my office admitting she stole the image." "When did I—" Alexandra started. "The day you came to my office claiming to be Sarah," Dr. Fisher cut in. "You signed the intake forms with her name. That's medical fraud, by the way." Mom's champagne glass slipped from her fingers, shattering on the patio stones. "This is absurd. Alexandra would never—" "Show them the fertility forum posts," Yvette called out, switching the projection. There it was, Alexandra's secret account, asking for advice on faking a pregnancy, questions about symptoms, tips for faking ultrasounds, recommendations for prosthetic bellies. "That could be anyone," Mom protested weakly. "Check the email linked to the account," I suggested. "Alexandra's personal Gmail is right there." Kyle had backed away completely now, his face a mask of disgust. "The business trip to Miami. You said you had morning sickness, but you were drinking margaritas by the pool. I saw the pictures your friend posted." "Kyle, please." Alexandra reached for him, but he jerked away. "Were you ever going to tell me, or were you planning to fake a miscarriage?" The crowd's whispers turned to open discussion. Phones recorded everything. Someone in the back started laughing. Page 3 of the forum posts, Yvette announced. She actually asks about how to fake a miscarriage around the 5-month mark. Alexandra spun toward me, mascara running down her face. You did this. You've always been jealous of me. Jealous? I laughed, the sound surprisingly bitter. Of what? Your ability to lie, to steal, to fake a pregnancy while I was actually pregnant? The room went silent again. You're what? Mom's voice shook. 12 weeks, Dr. Fisher confirmed. The ultrasound Alexandra stole? That's Sarah's baby, your actual grandchild. Alexandra lunged at me, but Kyle caught her arm. The movement dislodged her dress, and the prosthetic belly slipped completely, clattering to the floor. Several people gasped. Someone said, "Oh my God," in a horrified whisper. Sarah, Mom stepped forward. If you were pregnant, why didn't you tell me? Really? I turned to her. When have you ever wanted to hear anything I had to say? You were too busy praising Alexandra's fake pregnancy to notice my real one. I didn't. I never meant. Yes, you did, Aunt Jordan cut in. You've always favored Alexandra, even when she was clearly lying. Even now you're trying to defend her. The smoke machines chose that moment to activate, pink and blue clouds billowing around Alexandra's feet as she stood there, exposed and bellyless. I just wanted... Alexandra's voice cracked. Everyone always expected so much. Save it, Kyle snapped. We're done. All those doctor's appointments I tried to attend, the ultrasound visits you kept rescheduling, I actually wanted this baby. He stormed out, leaving Alexandra reaching after him. Mom? She turned desperately to our mother. Mom, please. But Mom had sunk into a chair, staring at the prosthetic belly on the floor. Guests began filtering out, phones still recording. Julian stood awkwardly by the podium, clearly unsure whether to start cleaning up or wait for further drama. Why? I asked Alexandra quietly. Why my ultrasound? Why not just post a fake one from the internet? Because, she whispered, yours was real. I needed something real to make it believable. Well, I touched my stomach. I hope it was worth it. Because this moment right here, this is real too. Dr. Fisher approached with more documents. I'll need statements from everyone involved. And Alexandra, using someone else's medical information is a serious offense. You'll be hearing from my lawyer. Alexandra crumpled to the floor, her perfect world destroyed. Mom still hadn't moved from her chair. Aunt Jordan was already calling family members who couldn't attend, spreading the truth before Alexandra could spin it. Yvette touched my arm. Ready to go? I looked around the ruined party, the smoke still swirling, the balloon arch swaying slightly, the abandoned reveal box that was never needed. Yes, I said. I think we're done here. The truth had been revealed, and it wasn't pink or blue. It was just cold, hard reality. You've ruined everything! Alexandra's scream echoed across the now empty venue. Most guests had left, but she wasn't done. My relationship, my reputation, all because you couldn't keep your mouth shut. No, I said calmly, all because you couldn't tell the truth. Truth? She laughed hysterically. What good has the truth ever done for you? Look at you, alone, bitter, probably lying about being pregnant just to steal my moment. Dr. Fisher stepped forward. That's enough. I have documented proof of Sarah's pregnancy, while you have committed multiple counts of fraud. Stay out of this! Alexandra turned to Mom, who still sat shell-shocked in her chair. Mom, please, tell them I didn't mean to hurt anyone. Mom finally looked up, her face aged 10 years in an hour. What am I supposed to say, Alexandra? That it's okay you lied? That you stole your sister's medical information? That you made me complicit in your fraud? You're taking her side? Alexandra's voice cracked. After everything? There are no sides here, Aunt Jordan interrupted. Only facts. And the facts are that you faked a pregnancy using your sister's ultrasound while she was actually pregnant. The sister you always said couldn't have children, Mom whispered. The one oh God, the things I said to her. Kyle appeared at the doorway, his face hard. I came back for my jacket, and to tell you, Alexandra, my lawyer will be contacting you. I've spent thousands on baby supplies, medical bills you claim to pay. Kyle, please. Alexandra reached for him. We can start over. Have a real baby. A real baby? He backed away. You need real help. Professional help. As he left, Alexandra's composure finally shattered. She grabbed the nearest centerpiece and hurled it against the wall. This isn't fair. Everything was perfect. Sarah's just jealous because I did pregnancy better than she ever could. Did pregnancy better? Yvette scoffed. You bought a fake belly on Amazon and stole an ultrasound photo. That's not doing pregnancy, that's doing fraud. I had to, Alexandra sobbed. Everyone expected me to be perfect, to have the perfect life, perfect pregnancy. No, Mom stood up shakily. I did that. I put that pressure on you. But this is beyond anything I could have imagined. Julian, who'd been quietly documenting the damage for insurance purposes, approached cautiously. I hate to interrupt, but the venue needs to be cleared. Of course, I nodded. Send me the cleanup bill. No, Mom said firmly. Send it to me, all of it. It's the least I can do. Alexandra wasn't finished. She turned to me, mascara streaking her face. You think you've won? That this makes you better than me? You're still the same sad, pathetic... Enough! Dr. Fisher's voice cut through the air. One more word, and I'll add harassment to the legal charges. Alexandra's mouth snapped shut. Sarah, Mom took a tentative step toward me. I know I don't deserve it, but... Could we talk? About the baby? About everything? I studied her face, the genuine remorse, the dawning horror of her own actions. Not tonight, I said quietly. I need time. Of course. She reached for her purse, hands trembling. Alexandra, we should go. We need to figure things out. Figure things out? Alexandra laughed bitterly. It's all over social media already. Everyone knows. My life is ruined. Your life isn't ruined, Aunt Jordan said, but it needs to change, starting with therapy. As they left, Alexandra supported by Mom and Aunt Jordan, I sat heavily in a chair. The adrenaline was wearing off, leaving me drained. Yvette sat beside me. You okay? I don't know. I touched my stomach. It wasn't supposed to feel like this. Like what? Empty. I thought revenge would feel... better. Dr. Fisher joined us, placing a gentle hand on my shoulder. Revenge rarely feels as good as we expect. But the truth? That was necessary. The truth cost me my family, I whispered. No, Yvette said firmly. Their lies cost them you, and your baby deserves better than their lies anyway. My phone buzzed, a text from Kyle. I'm sorry I didn't believe you sooner. If you need a witness for any legal proceedings, I'm in. Then another from Aunt Jordan. Coming by tomorrow with tea and those scones you like. We'll talk about setting up the real nursery. And finally, one from Mom. I don't expect forgiveness, but I hope someday you'll let me try to earn it. For you and the baby. I looked around the ruined party one last time. Deflated balloons, scattered flowers, lingering wisps of pink and blue smoke. Let's go home, Yvette said softly. As we left, I realized something. The venue might be in chaos, but for the first time in years, my life felt absolutely clear. Sometimes the mess is necessary for a clean start. The autumn breeze rustled through the nursery curtains as I folded tiny onesies. My phone buzzed with another notification. Alexandra's public apology video had gone viral. Have you watched it? Yvette asked from the rocking chair, where she was assembling a mobile. No. I placed another folded onesie in the drawer. I don't need to hear her explain why she did it. The truth came out exactly as it needed to. The doorbell rang. Through the window I saw Mom standing on the porch, clutching what looked like a photo album. "Want me to send her away?" Yvette offered. I touched my now visible baby bump. "No, it's time." Mom looked smaller somehow, less polished than before. She held out the album with trembling hands. "I found these while cleaning out the attic," she said. "Photos from when you were born. I was different then." We sat at the kitchen table and she opened the album. The first photo showed her holding newborn me, looking exhausted but radiant. "What changed?" I asked quietly. She traced the photo's edge. "I got caught up in appearances, in making everything seem perfect. Alexandra was easier to mold into that image, and She wiped her eyes. "I lost sight of what mattered." "Like the truth?" "Like my daughters, both of them." She looked up. "Alexandra started therapy last week. Real therapy, not just damage control." "Good. And She hesitated. "I'm going too. I need to understand why I enabled her lies, why I couldn't see what was right in front of me." The mobile chimed softly from the nursery as Yvette tested it. "Would you like to see?" I asked. Mom's eyes widened. "The nursery? Yes, please." We walked to the room together. Aunt Jordan had helped me paint it sage green with white furniture and botanical prints on the walls. No pink, no blue, just peaceful simplicity. "It's beautiful," Mom whispered. "So much warmer than the nursery I designed for Alexandra's fake baby." "That's because this one's real." I sat in the rocking chair. "Everything here is real." "Sarah," Mom knelt beside me. "I know I don't deserve to be in my grandchild's life, but if you'll let me try." The doorbell rang again. This time it was Dr. Fisher, carrying a gift bag. "Sorry I'm early," she said, taking in the scene. "I can come back." "No, stay." I gestured her in. "What's in the bag?" She pulled out a framed document, my latest ultrasound, but professionally matted with the words, "Your truth is beautiful," engraved below. "For the nursery," she explained, "to remind us all that real miracles don't need embellishment." Mom stared at the ultrasound, then at my bump. "I missed so much, didn't I? Too busy believing Alexandra's lies to see your truth." "You can't change that," I said, "but you can be here now, if you're ready to see things as they are, not as you wish they were." Yvette appeared with tea, setting cups around the room like she was orchestrating a peace treaty. "Have you heard from Alexandra?" she asked Mom. "She's staying with her therapist's recommended halfway house, learning to live without the lies." Mom sipped her tea. "Kyle's pressing charges for financial fraud." "And the medical fraud charges?" Dr. Fisher asked. "She's agreed to plead guilty, part of taking responsibility." The mobile chimed again, its gentle notes filling the silence. "I'm having a girl," I said suddenly. "Found out yesterday." Mom's teacup clattered. "A granddaughter?" "A real one." I met her eyes. "One who's going to need a grandmother who values truth over appearances." "I'd like that," Mom whispered. "More than anything." Dr. Fisher checked her watch. "I should go. Sarah, remember, appointment Tuesday?" "Actually," I looked at Mom, "would you like to come? See your granddaughter on the ultrasound, the real way?" She pressed her hands to her mouth, nodding through tears. After everyone left, I stood in the nursery, watching shadows dance across the sage walls. My phone buzzed with a text from Alexandra. "I'm sorry, not for the cameras or the courts, just sorry. When you're ready, I'd like to meet my niece. The right way this time." I placed the phone down without responding. That bridge would need more time, more proof of change. But as I touched the framed ultrasound, I realized something. The truth hadn't just exposed lies, it had cleared space for something new to grow, something real. My daughter would be born into honesty, into a family healing through truth, not perfect, but real. And that was the most beautiful reveal of all.